Fáilte, welcome. This is Lora O'Brien, author and co-founder of the Irish Pagan School, and I'm here to share with you some of the student reviews from our 6-month intensive programme, Meeting the Morrigan. This is part 2, and you'll see part 1 and part 3 on this playlist. What was the obstacle that almost prevented you from enrolling in our programme? I had just missed the sign up for the programme when I joined the IPS in 2020. I was disappointed when I found out, but it gave me a whole year to save up and prepare for 2021. This programme was one of my biggest priorities for the year. Finances. But in the end I got it sorted and got to take the course that would change my life and kick my arse. I didn't know if it was right for me or if I was prepared for it given my rudimentary knowledge. I was a beginner. Who was I to be joining an intensive? With the first time in the programme, it was the cost, but I was able to make it work and it was worth it. Previously, I did not feel ready to embrace change. I was afraid of the unknown and what it might bring. Money. I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship, but even if I didn't get the scholarship, I would have saved up for the next year because, judging from the content of Irish Pagan School in general, I knew it was going to be worth it. The cost. But I realised I've paid way more for way less, and I made enough adjustments to make it work. Finding the time to actually follow the course within my busy schedule. Honestly, the cost, and this is just a me problem. I was wary of adding to my credit card debt, like I said, a me problem, but the programme was more than worth the investment in the end. What programme features stood out to really make your enrolment decision? The community aspect. Seeing what other Morrigan devotees are like and hearing their experiences. From reviews, the way they described the community was like a social net to make sure you didn't fall through the cracks and did the work. Accountability is a huge element. That really relieved me because work can sometimes distract you from homework, and I didn't feel like that was an issue ever in the programme, and I have really bad ADHD. The group setting offered a level of accountability that I struggle with practicing on my own. I was also eager to be involved in a Morrigan-focused community that is a safe space and shares the values I prioritise for spiritual learning. The paced curriculum and availability of a social space to interact in. The level of work is college level. The structure there keeps you going. I think it was a journey we took in one of the pre-classes. I met the Morrigan and knew this was right for me. I didn't need to be a priest or an expert. I could do it. The amount of content. I was desperate and felt like this was my last hope to break through my burnout. That and herself got my attention in no uncertain terms, saying, "Take this intensive." It was 100% the teaching by a native Irish teacher and the connecting with other students. Those were features I'd not seen anywhere else in other programmes. Two things. First, the fact that this intensive is made by Lora. Having been searching for information on the Morrigan, I quickly found Lora and Irish Pagan School. The level of knowledge and authenticity that you can find within YouTube and the blogs made me realise that there is no other place to find the right information. And second, this was actually the same person. Second, that I would be working with the original texts of the lore, going as close as possible to the original texts and studying them, putting it in the right contexts and really go in depth. I wanted to make an informed decision on whether or not I wanted to work with the Morrigan. Learning and guidance. The deep dive into the lore with Lora at the helm. I knew I could trust them to teach me what I needed to know. Though honestly, the reason I made the final decision was because of urging from herself. Signing up made the incessant crow sounds inside my head stop, which was a thing. What made you the happiest about being on this programme? I love learning, and this experience was no different. I was relieved to just find out that I wasn't having some kind of psychotic breakdown, that this was really real and happening. And though I find it hard to be active in a group, I enjoyed being able to be part of a group where she has all touched us in some way, and yet we keep coming back for more. Being involved in a community where I feel safe was the cherry on top of this spiritual Sunday. My relationship with herself, and you find and meet new devotees. Just one thing? Are you kidding? The community was fantastic. The entire experience was a benefit. I developed a deeper relationship with multiple Irish deities, specifically one, which has been a life-changing experience for me. I reconnected with my inner passion and joy. I'm not sure I can narrow down to one thing. The feeling of knowing that I was in the right place, having people to do the intensive with and sharing experiences, having people that understand what you're experiencing and to learn from. The connections with the rest of the group, community. Doing the work made me feel happiest, if that sounds weird. Like, there are these incredible people and practices and work that I get to be a part of. I get to do this work. I get to connect to a land that I've been hungry to visit and learn about and give back. It's about kicking my own ass to stay with it and put my proverbial money where my mouth is first. That's the part that I'm happiest about. Proving to yourself and others that the work can be enjoyable. The work doesn't have to be done alone. The work is an invaluable part of self-progression, your soul or spirit progression. And the Irish ancestors and gods are obviously working in overtime for us, so we gotta return the favour. Morrigan means it when she says that you work for her. Lol. What have you been able to achieve since joining this programme? What has changed in your relationship with the Morrigan? I started a PhD programme in my field of interest and developed a new passion for life again. I restructured the boundaries of certain relationships and moved on. I connect on a daily basis with both herself and certain other members of her tribe. I was really eager for the Morrigan to put me to work when I joined the programme. Throughout the 6 months, she just kept saying, the only work I want you doing is to work on yourself. It was frustrating, but I have put aside just about everything this past year so that I could work on myself, and I am not the same person I was a year ago. I've grown in ways I never thought I'd be able to. I'm only just realising that, although I felt like my relationship with her has been lacking since the intensive ended. This is the devotional work she's been asking of me the whole time. And I know she's smiling that frustrating, I told you so smile. Opening up more side quests. I now have a bookshelf slowly being filled with more and more books that focus on herself. I stand my ground. I speak up for things I need and want, and I hold my boundaries toe the line. No more doormat. I have a consistent practice. It's small, but I learned through the programme that small, consistent is better than huge, splashy I have the energy to do once per month. I have a more solid relationship with her. I am still learning and growing, but have far more clarity about her place in my life and my whys for this relationship, because it has clearly become a relationship. There has been a clearer understanding of who I am and what I need to work on, and how that relates to the work I need to do for her. I quit my abusive job and found a job where I'm respected, which honestly allowed me to respect the Morrigan more by carving out time to be at the altar in the mornings. I'm starting my own online community to sync with the Irish Pagan holiday cycles. I have a devotional for herself on the Meeting the Morrigan 2021 Facebook group to journey every dark moon. I'm planning to visit Ireland during Samhain season and pay pilgrimage to Uav na Gach. I'm getting into Krav Maga and sword fighting. The list honestly goes on and the work is just beginning. I believe herself is satisfied. I've been able to shake the doubt, and at the end of the programme I signed my contract with herself. Big step, as I was pretty adamant in the beginning that I would not be signing any contract with any deity. I've been building on my foundation and right relationship with the Morrigan ever since. Our relationship, is on a whole nother level. It is closer, much more involved. Since completing the intensive, I've gone almost full time with what used to be a side gig. And I have written a book. The book was a total surprise. Last year, I was working on a goal planner for or with herself. This year, I have a solid concept and I'm ready to move forward for a 2023 release. Last year, she felt very much external and separate from me. This year, and I don't know if this will sound strange or big-headed, she is within me. Like, I know that I'm doing her work in this world. And though it may be scary sometimes, it is deeply rewarding. Huge thanks again to students Anya, Annalyn, Ramona, Juliet, Synth, Lisa, Alexa, Sarah, Daisy Lynn, Sam and Maureen. For info on the Mórrígan Intensive, make sure that you join the mailing list where you'll hear all about it each year in April and May. Go to the irishpaganschool.com, scroll down and you'll see the link to join the mailing list at the bottom of the page. Slán go fóill.